Hello, good morning and welcome to another video. So I haven't done a video like this in a while. I've been watching some of the videos, the day in the life of a massage therapist videos that I did within the last year, and they've really been very encouraging to me during this time. Guys, a few months ago, I didn't know what it would look like, when I would stop and all those kind of things. So we're going to talk about a lot of those things in today's video. But it's 9:31 a.m. and I am headed to my 10 o'clock shift. Girl, it's cutting it close, but I'll see you when I get there. So I have arrived at my destination. Ooh, okay, I don't have no stands or nothing like that, so here it is. I've arrived at the destination. I have my oil here. It looks like it's completely full, and then this one, I'm just gonna put this here. I have nut-free oil by the same brand that we use in the spa. That's what I've been using. The lotion, well, they use a gel here. The gel that they use like breaks my arm out, like it dries it out completely. So I've long since stopped using it, honestly, and I've been using this oil. Is the best oil that I have found. It works with all of the clients that I have worked with. It's not one of those things that's like sometimes, like, let's say you use lotion, right? And somebody has a lot of hair. The lotion doesn't necessarily work with the person who has a lot of hair. This oil, the thickness of it and everything just works well with most people's skin. I'll say that. I guess unless they have eczema or something, lotion would be good. The lotion that I have is just the lotion that we use inside, and it tends to like roll up on your hands, and I absolutely hate that, so I don't really use it. The oil that I have actually should last me until I finish my last massage on next Saturday. So let's go ahead and go in. I do not have a key to this door, so most of the time I kind of have to wait until somebody opens the door or go through the front. I do have a key to the other location, and like I said, I'll talk a little bit more about the locations here in a moment. Well, probably when I get back. Okay, I'll see you later. All right, so here's what the room looks like when I first get in it, and I don't have to share a room today, so I can show you how I set up and then how I break down. I go ahead and turn the table warmer up because I like to keep the room a certain temperature, and sometimes it is a little chilly, and it just feels really nice to just be able to get in on a nice warm bed. I put the advertisements away. I know some therapists leave it on the table, but I mean, everybody at this point knows what they're coming for, and if they don't, I give them options. So I'm just setting up the towel warmer as well. We take this out and put it in the sink so that these hot towel warmers do not mildew. And if you're working a long shift, you have to like empty that or the water will overflow. So here it is. I am setting out my hot towels. I like to do this as soon as I can so that the towels are actually warm for the massage. And again, nobody came in before me, so I have to make all of them for myself. Usually if someone's coming in after me, I'll just go ahead and leave them like, go at least 2 hot towels to get them started. I'm doing a total of 12 today. I like to at least have 4 per client. Sometimes I don't use 4 towels on a client, but I'd rather have them available to me than to want a hot towel and then not have one. We keep extra towels and blankets in our room. I'm probably going to need to get some more towels just to restock, and then I'm going to use more towels as well as the hot towels that I have. I'm also going to plug these up. I already checked my schedule, which I like to do. Make sure see if anyone has like hot stones or something. I do not always plug up the hot stones, honestly, because it's a lot to clean, especially if you don't have anyone in your schedule that has them. My last client actually had Himalayan. When I do Himalayan stones, I like to do both of them because the Himalayan stones, honestly, most of the time they're never warm enough. Here, I'm just going to fill it up. Okay, I'm going to fill this up with water. I don't like to put too much because I don't like to be dripping water all over the place. I take some of the hot stones out because I don't use the really big ones because my hands aren't that big. And it's just less to clean up. And if somebody else wants to add hot stones, I still have some already clean, so I just don't like to use all of them. I've showed you guys this before. This is how I make my hot towels. I like to wring them out almost 100%. I'm gonna say like a very, very small amount of water left in the towel so that I'm not worried about burning anyone, especially when you put hot towels on people's back. I just don't like to keep a bunch of water in my hot towels.
This is another little element that I like to add to my massages. I usually use lavender. Girl, I actually thought this was lavender, but it's eucalyptus. It's fine. Sometimes the room gets a little stinky. Sometimes people's feet stink. Sometimes people stink. So I like to just add a little essential oil to the towels. Makes the room smell good. Makes me feel better, okay? So I'm going to top that up. I also, you guys know, like to use my face mask. This is actually my personal face mask because I lost the one that was given to me, like that the company has. I'll use a towel like this and I'll lay this down on the client's eyes before I use my face mask. That's how I keep it from getting dirty. But lucky for me, this room actually had, one of the company's face masks, so I went ahead and used it. So while the hot stones are warming up, I'm also going to go ahead and get the thermometer. Now, most of our thermometers don't work, but I do like to just go ahead, turn it on, and keep an eye on it if it does work, just to see, I want the stones to be the right temperature. I don't want the water to be too hot. Definitely don't want it to be too cold. I kind of figured it out because I've been doing this a little while, just where to set it at, especially when the smaller hot stone warmers are in the room, like where to set it at to get it the right temperature so it doesn't burn my hands, and I can put it on the client right away without letting them sit. I've worked at other places in the past that we put them in the hot towel warmer. We don't do that here. Here, I'm just going ahead and adjusting the table. I like to have it at a neutral position, and most of the time I always end up moving it up. I used to, when I first started out, did a lot of bending down. Girl, I don't have time for that, okay? I use the hydraulics on this table. I also like to go ahead and put the bolster under here so that when the person gets on the table, they can go ahead and get themselves in a comfortable position, okay? So I like to get straight. I mean, we only got 50 minutes, girl. I gotta get started with this massage, okay? I also like to tuck in the sheets just because I really don't want anybody laying on the table. I actually probably would have pulled this further down, and my first client was pretty tall, so I should have pulled it down. Also like to keep on the fan just so that the room doesn't get all sticky. And if I get hot, at least when I'm down there doing the feet, I get the fan to blow on me. Works out perfectly. So here my room is. It is all ready to go. So it is 10:12 and my first client is not here yet for the 10 o'clock appointment. I also make sure to adjust the lights and the music before the client gets in, and just take a good look at the room and make sure that it's presentable. Also tucking these in. Again, I hate when people are turning over and they're moving the sheets. We use flat sheets here, so you do have to do a lot of tucking. And girl, here I am. I'm all done. And before I head out, I have to clean my room thoroughly, making sure to restock everything. We keep, like I said, the sheets and the towels in the room, and not every therapist does this, but I like to make sure that the room is fully stocked when I leave, and then clean up everything properly. So because no one's coming in after me and I'm not in a rush, I get to take my time and clean up. I want you to keep in mind that sometimes you'll have these stones to clean up and then you have another appointment behind you. So you have to be very strategic in how you move and use all your time wisely. This is tea tree oil that we use to clean out the basin here. I am a very on-time therapist. It's very rare that I am late coming to pick up a client. I just don't like that. I don't like the thought of someone actually coming in here to enjoy a service and then you're running behind. The towel is very hot. It's a towel that was sitting in the hot stone warmer. It's very hot. Anyway, so I like to be on time. So just keep in mind that sometimes you actually have to do all this stuff and then go get another client. So again, that's why I like to keep some of the hot stones up. That way I don't have to do all this cleaning in the event that I had 2 hot stones back to back. So just stay tuned, sit back, watch how I clean up all this stuff. I'm pretty sure everything is self-explanatory. I like to take, the cloths, the hot towels, the soap, and all that kind of stuff, and just wipe off things in the room, the lotions, the cabinets, things that don't normally get wiped. Okay, so especially if you just come in the room behind somebody else, they might not have done all this cleaning, so I would just clean up. I'm spraying, this is decon that we use for the Himalayan stones. I like to spray it and then sit it on there and not clean it off like immediately, because that's what the instruction says. Again, everybody might not do this, but I'm doing it like this, okay? I also clean the hot stones the same way I would clean my personal hot stones. That's with the Dawn dish soap. Scrub them off, and yeah.
Hey, how's my gas thing open? That's strange. I didn't see that when I got out. My gas thing was open, but it had to be me because the thing is in the inside. All right, hold on, girl. All right, I am all done. It is 1:41 and I am done. My shift technically ends at 2 o'clock, but no one else can book another massage, so I'm actually finished. I haven't looked at my tips right now. I have a cash tip and then I have the credit card tip. So the first client that I had didn't show up, but I did get paid for it. I'm not upset about it. Honestly, I don't think anything about when it happens. I just told you, whatever. It can be annoying just because even though I get paid, I don't get a tip for that appointment. So let's say I would have made $40 or $60 an hour, I only made my base pay, but that's just whatever. The second client was a gentleman. He only wanted his back done again. Sometimes that's annoying, but he was very, very tall, so he had a lot of back to work on. The day before that, so like 2 days ago, I had a client who only wanted her back done and she was very small, so I was just like, whatever. I'll put his tip on the screen. I don't know it right now. The last client tipped me in cash. She initially wanted to book a 2-hour appointment. I do not do 2-hour appointments. So they called her, they changed it to a 90-minute. She was very pleased with her massage. And yeah, she was kind. Like I said, she left me a cash tip. I'll go ahead and count it for you. Let's see. Put you right there. 20, 30, 40, 50. So she left me $50 in cash tip, which is really good. Honestly makes up for the person that didn't show up. And if she would have booked a 2-hour massage, that's a great tip for a 2-hour massage as well. So a client like that, I would for me, they would be a candidate for a 2-hour massage. Sometimes people will try to book a 2-hour massage and they'll tip you, just like they only had one appointment, which, it's whatever. Yeah, I have to do my notes here. I'm feeling a little indifferent because I said initially that I wasn't going to work. I was going to work until like next Saturday. To give you a little backstory, I don't know if I've told you guys this before, but this location is the first location. Okay, so I worked for Massage Heights outside of school. I wanted to go to a higher end place, so I applied here almost 6 years ago, right? They didn't hire me. The therapist loved the massage, but they didn't hire me. They never called me back. They never told me why they didn't hire me. I went on by my business. I was excited to get the job, but I just didn't get the job, and I never knew why. So a lot of other things happened. Of course, I went to the military. I did a bunch of stuff, and I ended up applying for this company, the same company, but a different location. What I didn't know was all 3 of the locations. So another location that I actually got a job with, but I decided to go to the military instead, so I didn't take the job. They're all sister locations. So I'm working at this location now when this is the location that I applied for and didn't hire me. So it's a very interesting feeling. You know what I mean? I just see God's hand. I really, really wanted it then, but I don't think I was necessarily, honestly, mature enough to handle some of the things that I have to handle now. And we'll talk about some of those things. I don't know if in this video, but there's just some things that you have to deal with as a massage therapist that I hope that I have portrayed correctly. I don't want to make this video or no other video seem like, oh, don't do it. You should enjoy this career. If you're just starting off on this journey, it's okay to be optimistic and be excited about this new venture. It is. Don't let nobody tell you. Don't let somebody who's been a massage therapist for 15 years tell you don't be excited about it. I don't want to have that perspective because this job has been good to me. The money has been good to me. The schedule has been good to me. If I would have known about this when I was younger, this has been a good job to me. So I'm planning to do this video justice. Yeah, so the first client, like I said, I'm going to do my notes. Oh, I already told you I didn't have first client. So yeah, that's it. Let me go and enjoy the rest of my day, and I'll talk to you later. Here's what I'm having for breakfast. cheese Danish, spinach and egg, and then a little beverage, a little coffee. It is 10 o'clock and I have a 2 o'clock shift today. I am going to do a recap on the 2 o'clock shift, but first I wanted to insert this in this video. I also am going to put a PDF down below where you can find because this video seems like a day in life video when I started, but I'm giving you some other information here. I have other videos that are just like this that have additional information that you might want to know the answer to or just know my take on it. I'll leave that PDF down below. It's nothing for you to buy. Okay, it's just click on the links. Some of the links will have timestamps, and I will update the list as I watch back the videos, because I have to watch the videos to see what information is inside of them, because they're all just not simply day in the life videos. I did mention this earlier in this video, but that is, don't let anyone steal your optimism about this industry. We all started off optimistic. I mean, when I first went to school, when I first found the school, how excited and how happy I was. Don't let anybody take that away from you. I don't make any of these videos. I just kind of want to let you know the real, but it's okay to be optimistic. It's okay to be excited about this. It's okay to have your own experience. I want to tell you that. Another thing I want to talk about is, what do you do when your hands hurt? When I first started off, I was very concerned. That was one of the things that was of my top concern is there ever going to come a point of time where I'm not in pain? And the answer kind of sort of is no. There's still only so many massages that you can do or that you should do in a day. The biggest thing that I have found that helps me with pain is to take breaks, okay? If that's a week break, if that's 2-week break, it depends on your financial situation. If that's, I only massage at certain times in a month or in a year, that's just my personal preference. I found that the more breaks you take, the better as far as resting your body, but also let's say you keep a constant pace going. Let's say I work 2 days out of the week. Let's say Friday and Sunday are the days that I choose to work. That same consistent level of massages and then add another massage. So I wouldn't just start off saying, hey, put me on the schedule for 6 massages. I want that money. I wouldn't do that, because it very well might mess with the quality of your massage and you just never know who's coming in. I'm going to show you, I'm kind of going to walk you through my client experience for the last week so you can get a better understanding of that. But you never know the type of client that you have. So yeah. Say I could do 6 massages when I have, a schedule full of petite women, as opposed to 6 massages with a schedule, with boxers on it. It's different. Or a schedule full of guys. It's different. Okay. So just kind of pace out how often you work, look at your finances, and then look at the schedule and work at a place that allows you to, work at a pace that you can go, and then also work at a place that allows you to pick up shifts if you feel that you can do more. That's a nice thing as well. I do not like the idea of putting yourself on the schedule for piling all these days on your schedule, and then when it comes time for you to actually do what you said you was going to do, which was come into work, then you call out. They got to call all these people. I think that is so, I think it's so rude. I have never done it. Thank you, Jesus. In my entire career. I mean, I've been sick before and I just have never canceled people's appointments like that. I always say this, but you have to think about it like this. When someone books their massage, it's not always a day before thing. Sometimes people are okay, I'm going to drop the kids off here. My husband's going to be here. I'm going to take off from work this day and I'm just going to relax. Imagine them planning all of this stuff out for weeks and then the day comes and you cancel your massage. I like to look at it like that. Be very considerate of people's time. So that's just something I do. But like I said, to stop your hands from hurting, there are different things you can do. I love the little massage gun. Maybe at a later date. I do this in a lot of the mobile massage videos. I just show you how I do it. That has been really, really good. When I first started, I used to use cupping. Honestly, the cupping is not as effective as just taking the massage gun and really going right here. Some people, I like to say, are more susceptible to carpal tunnel syndrome. If you know you're one of those people, I can tell just by the feel of someone's arm if they're one of those people. That would be a very good technique for you. Okay, so, and like I said, resting your hands. And if resting your hands is not, let's say you can't just work 2 days, taking breaks in between the massages. So a 2, break 2, break 2. excuse me, like if you want to work for open to close, I it's not my deal. It's not my thing. But if you want to work from open to close, make sure that you take adequate breaks in there. Make sure that you're working at a place that allows you to take adequate breaks. That realizes that this is not just like a front desk job where I'm just sitting down answering the phone. I'm actually using my whole body and my hands. Okay. Also, the type of massage that you choose to do also will determine how many massage you can do. If you use a lot of your hands, your fingers, like I like to do, which it gives the massage a very different feel from someone who uses only their forearms or only their elbows. But you can only use your hands so much before the muscles, they're literally like tired and they begin to hurt. In that case, you definitely need to take breaks, and you definitely need to take like space out your days. That's the one thing that I have found to without fail help, and that is to take frequent breaks. If you're working every single day, you're not taking any breaks, you're going to begin to have like pain in your hands. And I don't want that for you, because that doesn't equal a long career. And it also doesn't equal good massages for the clients that are coming in. So that's just something to help those of you who are new. Does the pain go away? Yes, but you have to learn what's causing the pain for you, and then how do you get rid of that. I remember when I first started as well, like I did mobile massage a lot, and then I had a suite, right? I didn't have a hydraulic table, of course, when I was doing mobile massage. So I was like bending over a lot. I was taught that you should put the table lower. Let me tell you, I told you this in the body mechanics video. You can put the table lower if you want to, but if you're not in the position to actually bend your knees, like if you just physically can't be doing all that bending your knees, pull the table up so that you're not hurting your neck bending down. So do what works for you. And maybe what you were taught, like as far as the techniques of how to stand, and maybe those body mechanics are not working for your body, and feel free to adjust those. You're no longer in school, okay? This is your career and this is your body, okay? So let's move on. Like I said, I wanted to walk you back through my schedule. I want to show you just what the client consultation looked like and some of the things that people say. And the best way for me to do that is just to go back. Oh my gosh, I crossed off the names. It's to go back over my own schedule. So let me pull up the names real quick. All right, so this day in particular, I came in and honestly, I was over it. I'm like, I don't want to I can't do this no more. And sometimes you get days like that where you feel like, why did I ever choose this as a career? And I am finding that you get like that because maybe you're working too much, okay? Maybe you're looking too much at the dollars, like it's never fun to do something solely for money. And I know that sounds so crazy when we're talking about jobs, but you want to do something, especially as a woman, I can speak. You want to do something that just makes you feel good. You feel good about it. And when you just looking at the money, how much money I can make, this business in particular, you just become very burnt out and then calloused with people. Okay. So on this day in particular, I just really wasn't feeling it. I was ready to go. I had been working a lot more than I usually work, obviously, because it's the holiday time and I have time to do it. Holiday time, people spend extra money. It makes no sense to sit around complaining about how I don't have money, how I want to do this, and then you're not actually getting up and going to work. Okay. We talked about this before. So let me pull up this. Girl, didn't I just send this to myself? Hold on. So that's where I was when I came in on this day. The schedule started at 3:00. So this first client was a 50-minute massage, and a client that I'd never seen before. I knew by the client's name that the client was, she was like me, and that's okay. I don't see a lot of clients that look like me. I don't have anything against clients that don't look like me. I just know that there's certain attitudes, and not when I say attitude, I don't mean mean. There's just a certain way that people behave, and we all have it. My Caucasian brothers and sisters have it. My Black brothers and sisters have it. My Indian, my Asian, everybody has a certain way of behaving. And you will get to a point in your career where you can see a name on the schedule and you already know what type of day you're going to have. Not categorizing people. No. I'm not trying to tell you to put people in a box, but generally speaking, you kind of know what to expect. Okay? You always make room for it don't have to go this way, but you generally know what to expect. Okay. So yeah, and I've told you this, guy,
I've told you guys this before. There's certain groups of people who do not tip very well. Okay. It's not always black people, but black people do. They are in that group. I don't know what it is. I don't know if we just used to tipping the people who do our nails and the people who bring out your food, the same as massage therapists. I don't know what's up with that. But that tends to be the case. I found a lot. And I have made my mind, just as a person of integrity, I don't care if you don't tip me what I think that you should learn how to tip me. Um, I'm still going to do the best that I can do. Okay. So this client came in and she was actually looking for the restroom, but both of the restrooms were closed. And so we stood there kind of awkwardly. Good thing I took her back ahead of time. So I like to take people back. Like I'll go to the front at 2:58 if the client is there, and try to bring them back and be in the room exactly at 3 o'clock. So we waited a little while extra for the bathroom. The bathrooms didn't open up. So that was a bit awkward because we were just kind of standing side by side. I don't really talk about people's life, and definitely don't talk about my own life. So it was just kind of like, oh, we're just waiting for the bathroom. And that was a bit awkward, but I had to shake that off. I took her back to the room. Let's say I took her to the room at 3:02. Some of the therapists I witnessed, you'll take somebody back at like, let's say you take somebody back at 3 o'clock. Then you go into the break room for 5 minutes, and then you go into the room and then start the massage at 3:05, and then take them all the way up. Because remember, these are 50-minute massages. Take them all the way up to 3:55, and you have another client at 4. So by the time you make up your table and everything, what's happening to that client at 4? That client at 4 is then being pushed back again to 4:05. I don't like that. I like to stop exactly at the 50 mark, or I'll give myself to 52, so like 3:52, and I still can make up the table, wash off stones, especially if somebody has stones, but we'll talk about that here in a moment. I like to give myself time to wash up everything, to clean off everything. You saw all the work that I had to do. You can't do all that and be lollygagging with time. You just can't. So I like to be very sharp and very on time, because if someone is waiting, like let's say you go pick somebody up from the front at 4:05, they're going to be very, very serious. They might not say this, but they're going to be looking at the time, okay, to see, like they're going to be really calculating if you gave them all their time because you were late to start with. So I don't even like to start off on that foot, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and say it, especially now with black people, because they will say something. And I'm just saying, and you know it's true. What happened to my time? They will say something. So I brought her back in enough time, 2 minutes, 3:02 is when I started massage. I give them enough time to get on the table, knock, 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 and I come on in, okay? And then when I come in the room, that's when I start my time in my mind. You know, I'm not trying to short nobody of their time. She didn't do any upgrades or anything like that. She really didn't have much to say. Everybody, it's very seldom that somebody says, oh, can you focus in on my legs? It's always neck pain. And the thing with neck pain, some people like this very strong pressure with your fingers in the neck. And so you're going to have to learn to use your forearms and elbows in a way that's appropriate, that alleviates that pain. It's a certain type of pressure that people are looking for up here in the neck, like right, you know what I mean, right there. They're looking for that. And if you only use your thumbs, you wear down your thumbs. I'm just letting you know. Most people, 99.9% of people come in complaining about neck pain. So it behooves you to learn how to work on that neck pain. I think I've showed you guys a few stretches and things of that nature. I don't really like to do techniques here. And I guess I can say this right now. I don't like to do techniques because there's so many different body types. And what I have found is that, like, let's say there are people on YouTube doing techniques. I'm not saying that they won't work, but the types of clients that they choose to do the techniques on are what I call the easy clients. You know, the tissue, the muscles are easy to move. I call them squishy muscles. They're just easy. It's just they're easy massage people. Very seldomly are they showing you these techniques on people who are hard to do these techniques on, and I don't necessarily like that, because most of the clients are not easy massage clients. And I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying what I'm saying. Everybody, most of the clients are not easy. You going to encounter some hard bodies, and you need to learn how to deal with that. Okay? So, she wanted extra focus on her back. No, this lady did not want extra focus on her back. She just told me overall. And when she said overall like that, I knew that there was no, I asked her, was there any specific area of concern? That's my line. Are there any specific areas of concern that you like to focus on for today's session? Most of the time, like I said, people will tell me their neck, and I'll say, okay, would you like me to focus? It depends on how in depth they're going about their neck pain. If they're saying, oh, my low back, and then here, and then here, and then here, I was like, do you want me to focus just on your back for the session? And I like when they say no. I like when somebody gives me the ability to do a full body massage, because honestly, it's just less boring for me. There's only so much work that I can do for your back. I don't know what's causing the problem. I'm not going to pretend like I do know what's causing the problem. And there's only so much that I could do. And it's just, it gets really boring when you're just working on the back for 50 minutes. So I like when people say, no, just can you do extra focus there? I always reiterate that. Would you like extra focus in that area and then full body? And then usually it's good to go. I stopped asking about people's head and their feet, because I like to do, like I said, the full body. People tend to say no when they're just coming in, but when they're getting a massage and they feeling it, you know what I mean? They just be relaxing and then they down for anything. And I like that. Not anything, you know what I mean? But they just down to relax and just enjoy the massage as I have it to give. I always liken it to an artist. You don't come in telling the artist what to do. You tell them what you want, but you find the artist based on the art that they already have. You look at their pictures, you say you like their style, you tell them what you want to do, and then you take their iteration of what it is that you ask for. You don't try to bring somebody else's artwork to another artist and say, make it like this, because you're going to get a mess every single time. Massage is the same way. Don't come up in here telling me about what nobody else do. Okay, because you're not gonna like what I do. So just go ahead and find them. Okay. And that's the way that you're gonna have to go about saying that. I've had to say that a lot more recently. Like, okay, well, I'm not them. So if you would like me to get them, let me know. Cause I can, as a matter of fact, let me tell you right now. I had a client a few weeks ago. She was pretty, I'll call it rude. She was rude. She had a foreign accent. And again, this is one of the things that I've had to deal with, just being a person of color, a Black woman specifically. Sometimes people just treat you rude off the rip. That's just how they do. And I try not to take offense to it, take it to heart. Because at any point in time, I could just not do this massage and you can go get somebody else to do it. And then that's going to be that. Usually, I do my best either way. So usually people just kind of throw off how they initially treated me, and then they sit back and enjoy their massage. And I'm cool with that too. I'm cool that you dropped your bias about me and just enjoyed the massage. Okay. I understand it's just the world that we live in. It's just something that you have to deal with. So I'm just letting you know that off top. So she came in and she was like, now mind you, the person that I had before her was like 6'4", big guy. And she was a very petite young lady, but he didn't ask for deep tissue. She wanted deep tissue, but he didn't ask for deep tissue. But the way his body was, I still had to give him deeper pressure. So when she came in there, I'm like, oh, this is going to be easy, because she asking for deep tissue, but it's easy to go deep on her. And if you know what I mean, then you know. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to, start doing her massage. And she's like, that's deep. And I'm like, yeah, would you like more pressure? And she said, yeah. So I gave her more pressure. I'm like, I'm literally giving her the most pressure, okay? But still, in giving her the most pressure, I have to find out a way to pace myself for the full of the massage. That's something that you learn to do with time. And she goes again, she was like, is that deep? And the way she was saying it rude, I said, is everything okay? Is there a specific area that you're having pain? Because when someone asks for deep tissue, I always ask them, are you in pain in a certain area? Because I'm not just going to sit here and beat you down for no reason. It doesn't make sense to me. And it lets me know where you are in your head, that there's no pain and you want me to inflict pain on you. So I just take a note of that. Okay. And comply verbally and give them what they want without doing something that I don't believe in doing. Again, that's something that you'll learn over time. So she was like, no, she just wanted more pressure. And she was like, well, I asked for, and she said a guy's name. Let's just call him David. She said, I asked for David. And she said, when I asked for deep, I thought deep would be David. I said, no. David is David and deep tissue is deep tissue. So would you like me to go up to the front and let them know that you would like David? Because I don't want you to pay for anything that you don't enjoy. And I took my hands off her.
And I said, waiting for her response. And she said, oh, no, it's okay. So she thought that she was going to be rude just for the sake of being rude, not that she didn't enjoy the massage. She ended up tipping me very well, but I don't play that. Like, if you're going to sit here and talk, I don't have time for that, girl. This is a very high energy job. And when I say high energy, I mean like you're moving with your body. You have to greet every client, with excitement and be happy. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. So you can go. You can leave. You can leave. And she didn't want to leave. So that was good for her, good for me. And I had to proceed with the rest of the massage in a way like, okay, Tanzania, well, she said she didn't want to leave. Still do the best you can do, because I could have literally, she fell asleep. Imagine being that rude and then enjoying yourself to the point where you fall asleep. I didn't like that, but you have to deal with that a lot. Again, not trying to discourage you, just trying to inform you. That's how that client went. She did leave me a tip, which I'll put it on the screen. The tip that she left me, the lady that we're talking about first, the tip that she left me, she was a good client. She was easy to massage, which I liked, and she didn't want any crazy pressure, which usually my black clients, they usually don't want crazy pressure. They usually just want like a firm hand. That's what I have found. So there's that. The next two clients, I saw that they had the same last name and they both had deep tissue. So this first lady came in and I didn't see her size because she had on like her clothes. Like, imagine I have on this. You can't see like my arms. You can't see, how much tissue or anything. She's like a normal lady coming in. Okay. And I don't be looking at all that anyway. So she's like, I see you want deep tissue today. Are there any specific areas that you like to focus in on for your massage today? She was like, yeah, my shoulder. And David, again, the same person. She was like, David usually really gets in there. And if it gets too ouchy, I'll let you know. I said, well, I'm not David. And she kind of looked at me and I just had to clear it up real quick. And I smiled and said, I'm not David. I'm not David. And she said, okay. So I'm thinking, this might be harder because if David's really getting in there, then maybe there's a possibility that I'll have to really get in there. I come back in the room. And this lady, I kid you not, her back is literally the size of both of my hands together. Very, very small lady. And there was not just no fat. There was no muscle. There was only bone. And I'm just like, well, what is David getting in there to do? Break your spine? Like, that frustrated me so much. That literally is why I came back to making these videos. Why is David going in here? What is he trying to do? And then I read the notes and I'm like, okay, so David he must see something different than I'm seeing, because there's nothing but bone here. So what is he trying to do? And the lady was like, she had headaches. And I'm like, the headaches might not be from muscle. The headaches might be from, not getting enough food, not having enough nutrients. Like, there's different reasons for headache. It's not always muscular. And I have, again, something I've learned over time. Sometimes people are having issues that are beyond the physical. And I don't just mean it's spiritual, but they're psychological. And you just have to treat people in a way that you understand. There's a reason that you're coming here saying you want this really, really deep pressure, and you're sitting here bones. And when I tell you bone, I'm not being rude. I'm being for real. The lady's leg was the size of this part of my arm. Could you imagine somebody's leg being that small and then saying they want deep tissue? So I was pretty confused about that. And it just made me a bit upset. Like, okay, somebody should inform her that deep tissue is not. And I asked her, I checked in on the pressure, and it wasn't deep pressure. It was like a medium firm. She was comfortable with that. I don't know who told her. From the notes that I read, I can guarantee you that it was David who said, oh, you need deep tissue, because, or I found that therapists will just be hurting people. Like, let's say somebody said they want extra pressure, and then they'll start to use their elbow, and the therapist will be like, oh yeah, it's your this muscle and your that muscle, and just try to convince people that something's wrong. One, so they can get extra money, and two, so that they can justify the pain that they're causing other people. And it really doesn't have to be all that most of the time. But once you give somebody that really hard, really deep pressure, it's very hard to break them away into like the normal. It's like they go off into Freakville. And I don't have time for that. I just don't. I say something about it every time. If you said more pressure, if I'm giving you like the max that I feel that your muscles should be able to take, and then you ask for more, I'm gonna ask you some questions because I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to play with you. I'm not gonna play with you. I'm not gonna sit here and play with you. So there was that. I'll put that client's tip on the screen. She was a nice lady. I just realized she didn't need what she was asking for. Sometimes you will have to do deep tissue on clients, like a deeper pressure. Usually when people say deep tissue, they don't actually mean they want you to go to the deep tissues. Remember, some of the muscles are deep. Some of them are under other muscles, right? That's really what deep tissue pressure is for, to affect the muscles that are deep. Sometimes people just mean extra pressure. And then the person's doing a massage. Let's say they're doing a massage at like a medium pressure, like top medium, like light to medium, like right there at the top medium. And the person's like, can you give more pressure? And the therapist is like, yeah, okay, so it's an extra charge for deep tissue. Would you like deep tissue? And the person says, yes, I like deep tissue. So then the therapist gives them not really what's deep pressure, but what's medium to firm pressure. And so when they book again, they say, well, I don't want that light medium stuff. I want the medium to firm stuff. And in their mind, it's deep. So they continue to do it. That's what it is. You get some therapists, they see the deep and they'll start straight in with the elbow because they think that's what you want. So it's very confusing in that sense. Like I said, when you start working, you'll learn how to talk to people. I had to learn this. We all have to learn this. Some people just choose not to learn, just go with the flow. And you wear yourself out trying to continue to explain this to people in the way they understand. Or sometimes, like when you look at your schedule, you'll be worn out when it's nothing like you think it is. Like I said, both people wanted deep tissue. So the next person came in and I'm like, okay, so I just dealt with that. You know, they look like their mother and daughter, so maybe she'll be the same kind of small and she wants deep as well. The girl came in, she only wanted her back done. And she was slender, but she wasn't just bone. You know what I mean? She wasn't just skin and bone. It was actually some meat in there. She wanted only her back. I said, okay, cool. Still, the back wasn't when she came in. What areas would you like us to focus in on today for your session? Oh, my back. Because every time I come in, she too sees David. Every time I come in, they always say that my back is so bad. And I'm like, okay, so I start doing the ladies massage, a normal back. I said, okay. Interesting. I just do the massage. I don't say anything. At the end of the massage, I ask the same questions. How are you feeling? You know, everything okay when they're walking out to get their water, whatever. Yeah, I actually feel great. By the way, how was my back? I said it was good. Feel like a normal back. Oh, that's odd. Usually it's so you want something to be wrong with you. And you'll get people like this. They want something to be wrong with them. It's not your job to try and get money out of them because they think something's wrong with them when something truly is wrong with them. Like, why don't you just want to be healthy? It's just a normal back. Okay, so there's that. That's very annoying to me. But like I said, she also paid additional for deep pressure. She only wanted her back. Because I had to deal with the other massage before hers, it was easier to do just the only back with her. The last client came in and she was, my favorite kind of client, just have a lot to work with. Not too much, but you know what I mean? Like a lot to work with. I'm smiling because it sounds so crazy. And she just wanted a light to medium massage, which I absolutely love too. She said light to medium, but there were definitely areas just because of her body type, like in the structure of her body, that I could go a bit firmer pressure. She just didn't want to be in pain. And I like that. She truly enjoyed her massage. I could tell when she walked out, she had like a glow around her face that was like in disbelief. And I absolutely love when people have that glow of disbelief. So there was that. Let's move on to this day. This is a day that is to come. But you'll see it on this video. So this one here is, you can see, let's say the 6 o'clock, right? This 6 o'clock massage, I'm going to open it up, and it's a classic 50-minute massage with an exfoliating foot treatment. So there's a certain amount of time that we have to do that treatment. You can do the 2 feet together. What I like to do is be very attentive to 1 foot at a time so I can keep like the hot towels. I've showed you guys this before in the video. I'll link it. What I do is, massage the leg and then incorporate the foot in there. I take out my little hot towel from the hot towel warmer, massage the foot in there, take some of the sugar scrub with the oil, and then massage the foot. Then I'll wrap the foot with the towel, and then I'll finish doing work on the leg to give the towel time to like cool down on their foot. I don't want to take a warm towel off their foot because that's the relaxing part. I'll remove the towel from their foot and then continue to do a massage on the foot with the foot mask that we have. So that's 10 minutes. I like to do 5 on one foot, 5 on the other foot. If we did good for my time throughout the massage, and I can spend more time. This person also has aromatherapy lavender, which is just an easy add-on to the massage, and gliding cupping. I haven't done gliding cupping in a while. It does tend to make your fingers, tends to make your fingers hurt, the cups that we use. But this is going to be a service. It's going to be very different. I like to make my cupping experience gliding, and not just gliding, but like flowy, just like I would do a normal massage, especially because the person's asking for exfoliating foot treatment. I assume that they would like to relax. So we're doing the gliding cupping. The thing with the gliding cupping is it's a lot to clean up, right? And you saw how long it took me to clean up before. The good thing is that this appointment is right before a break. So I won't be rushed to like, oh, I have to clean up. I have to stop like sharp on time because I have somebody coming in after. I don't. I have time to clean up, which I really do love that. So I want to show you that as well. I hope this segment of the video was helpful for you. If I have anything else to add, I'll add it at some point later in the video. But for now, I'll see you later when I get ready to go to my 2 o'clock shift. I am all done. When I came out here, the sun was shining, and now it is dark. Okay. Oh man. It's dark, but the temperature didn't drop too much. Let's quickly do a recap. Hold on, a little foggy, but whatever. I don't know anybody's tips right now. I'll put them all on the screen. First client, girl, I gotta see the name. Hold on. Oh, okay. So first client, firm pressure, full body. She didn't want me to massage her quads at all, so I left them out of the massage. It was a pretty easy massage for me, but it was firm pressure, like not dense, but you could tell like she worked out. So it was a bit more pressure there that I had to add in order to get to the pressure that she was requesting. The next client was a gentleman. He was like a young kid, college student. He came in with his mom. Still same body type, firm pressure. Oh no, that was the third client. I'm sorry. So I'll just put his on the screen. Firm. He wanted full body. He was very relaxed, but again, it was a very firm pressure massage, but he was kind, so it's okay. The second lady, which is the one that I skipped, she came in, I won't say she had an attitude, but sometimes, I'm just be honest with you, like older white people, again, I've been saying this for a bit, they just treat me differently specifically. And I mean me differently, like if you're a person of color, you'll notice these sort of like over and undertones a lot. And she asked me something, I can't remember, she asked me something, and she was just kind of like very matter of fact and short with me, and I'm like, okay, it's not gonna be a long massage for me, it might be a long massage for you. Midway through the massage, she asked me like, how long you been doing this? I told her, she was like, you're very good. So it's always that, it's not always that way, but I do find it a lot of like, I don't expect you to be good simply because you're black. Like, what are you doing over here anyway, kind of thing. I know it sounds terrible, but I have to deal with it a lot. And I just simply try not to let it bother me and try not to let it affect the massage, because at the end of the day, if you notice somebody is treating you like that, you tend to want to like treat them poorly, but that's not what I'm here to do. So she enjoyed her massage as well. And she told me that was a great job at the end, which I didn't necessarily need her to say, but there's that. There you go with the firecrackers. The last massage, this lady, I almost turn her back around because she was very almost like a child is what I was getting. Like, like children don't know what not to say, they don't know when to stop talking, they're just very like not quick witted, but just like a little child with like ADD, just like it's dark, it's like all that. And I was like, calm that down. So she ended up relaxing, but she had a very strong personality, I would say that. I don't encounter that a lot. But when you come into the room and you immediately start telling me what to do, I'm already like,
Now, I don't mind you telling me what you prefer because I need to know what your preferences are. But there's a way that you say it, and everybody just don't know how to talk to everybody. So there's that. That was today. I was asked to come in another weekend day that I wasn't planning on coming in. So I'm going to do that, and then I have one more day. So I'll talk to you later. All right, here is my massage gun. My hands are wet, so it's a little wet. It came in this little case with a few attachments. I kept it inside of my car during the summer, and one of them broke because it got so hot. So there's this. I don't typically use these attachments all that often. If you're using this in practice, which I used to bring it with me to mobile massage, then you probably will find use of some of those other attachments. This came with a charger, of course. It's very heavy duty, kind of like the one that we use in suite. Just press the button. That's the first speed. Second, you can't even see it, it's moving so fast. And then third. I've never used it that high. And like I said, I just kind of go my forearm right here. Hello. It is 3:29 and I am headed to my 4 o'clock shift. I have been hanging out with my kids at the park and all that kind of stuff today. And honestly, on an energy scale, I'm at the point where the phone needs to be plugged up or it's gonna die. The battery gonna die. So, and it probably has a lot to do with the fact that I ate pizza and the Sonic slush for my lunch today, as opposed to being like a sensible adult who has to work a 6-hour shift and eating, you know, something wholesome, a salad, something like that. I didn't. I had pizza and a slush, so not clean energy, which is, I guess, a little tip that I could give you. Girl, eat good food. You work the morning shift, have yourself a bowl of oatmeal, something that's going to give you, like, you know, energy that sustain you. Good thing for me, I usually get a bit more energized once I start working, but sometimes that's not always the case. So I also picked up, so today is Friday? Yes, today's Friday. The shift for today is 6 hours with a 1 hour break, so a total of 5 massages. The schedule is full. I'm not going to do the full client walkthrough. What I'm going to do at the end of the shift is just kind of give you a recap and then tell you how much money I made, because that's what you care about. I do have that cupping massage today, so I might show you like the room and then how I have to like clean up that stuff, because I think that would be helpful. Tomorrow I picked up a shift like about 2 hours ago. The other schedule was full. They asked if you wanted to pick up a shift. I said, you know, I'm free. So I picked up 4 hours for tomorrow, no break. Sunday I picked up a few days ago. My schedule for Sunday is already full with 2 requests, no break. 4 appointments, no break. So I'll also, you know, recap those for you. We'll close out this video. Yeah, so sit tight. I'll see you in a bit. All right, let me get started with setting up. I'm going to set up the hot stones. I told you guys earlier, I only put 4 in there. That way I don't have to clean them all up if they're not used. Even though my first client did not say that she was going to get hot stone, like it wasn't on the list. That was the first thing she asked for when she got in. So I'm glad I went ahead and turned these on, because it takes longer for them to heat up, obviously. Also went ahead and set up my hot towels. I do have a break, so I don't need to set so many. Alright, so I'm all done. The client's gone. I'm just going to go ahead and clean up the room. I'm actually so upset because I was trying to get this footage for you guys. I forgot to go up to the front. Well, I didn't have enough time because I also took her up, like, instead of stopping at 52 minutes after, I think I stopped at 54 minutes after because they were running a little bit behind. I forgot to go to the front desk and let them know that the client added hot stones, and therefore the front desk told me I'm not going to get paid for it. Because I waited too late to tell them after the client was already gone. That really aggravated me, and this was my first client, and I loathed being annoyed, especially so early on in the shift. But sometimes it happens. I got over it. Whatever. Here we are at the next client. This was a client I told you guys had cupping. This is actually not the next client. So this is my third client. The second client, I'll put the tip on the screen. Here's the third client's tip as well. Second client, she really wore me down. She was doing a lot, okay, and she only wanted her back done. This client was good. It was a cupping. It was her first time doing cupping. She put these little towels on the face cradle, which sometimes people bring in their own stuff or whatever. I'm hurrying up so I can enjoy my break. I got my key fixed, so I actually get to go sit outside in the car and enjoy my break. I'm not physically tired, but the second client kind of wore me down emotionally. So here I am just finishing cleaning up the room. Now, since I have a break, I'm making use of my break and I'm doing all of the cleaning that I would do at the end of my shift, including these stones. Remember, after the first client, I used these. I did not get a chance to clean them. And that's kind of the beauty of, like, if your next client doesn't have a stone, you can just sit these back on the warmer until you get the opportunity to clean them. I would never use dirty stones on the next client, obviously. So, yeah, I just went ahead, like I said, cleaned these. I could have waited to the end of my shift, but I wanted to go ahead and get this done because after that last massage, girl, I am out of here. I did the same thing with the hot stone warmer. I just went ahead and shut it down for the night because I don't anticipate anyone else getting any stones. And after me not getting paid for it, that's annoying. Also went ahead and just like wiped everything down, including my stool with the cleaner. I still need more towels, but I also did go ahead and bring some towels in. I use so many towels. I think I use about 5 towels at least per client, and that's without any add-ons like a foot treatment. And my last client got foot treatment, so yeah, there's a lot of towels being used. I'm also going to go ahead and put the sheets in here. This is enough sheets to last for my shift, and then I don't have to restock them at the end.
Morning sunshine. It's 8:14. I'm on my way to my 9 o'clock shift, and I have just been practicing my gratitude this morning. I'm grateful for my job. I'm grateful for the job. Sometimes the job is hard. Sometimes people are annoying, okay? But I am grateful to God for this job. It could be way worse. Like, not, you don't get people complaining too much by making, $40,000-$50,000 an hour. So I'm grateful for this job. I can think about a time in my life when just yeah, this kind of money was inconceivable. This kind of schedule was inconceivable. So I truly am grateful for this position. Like I said, sometimes, just depending on the client situation, sometimes things can be a bit challenging. But today, I'm not letting any of that bother me. I got one more day left. Okay, got one more day left. So, honestly, am I in a bit of pain? It feels like I did like a strenuous workout yesterday, and then I'm headed back to the gym today. That's what it feels like. So before I start my massage, I'm just kind of going to do some stretches for my arm. I think I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there in enough time. There's no traffic on the road. So I brought my massage gun with me. I'm going to do a little something for my arms. My thumbs still hurt. I only have 4 today. No break, okay? I had a little breakfast, cream cheese croissant, my fave, and a coffee. I didn't drink all of the coffee. I'm going to save some of it for tomorrow, okay? So I'm going to have the same setup tomorrow. I don't like to eat too much in the morning. Just something something that will keep me full, and not have my stomach growling. Just not have my stomach growling. You know, I don't want to be satiated before my shift. So that's what's going on today. The schedule is full, so I'll see you later. Good morning. So I left home at 29 minutes after. It's 9:46 and I've just arrived, which is right on time. I got an invitation last night to go to the contract job that I have, but I already had this schedule, so I kind of missed out on those coins, which is a little sucky because I made like over $1,000 working with them for 3 days. So that would have been nice to do that. But let's see how today goes. You know, let's be grateful for what we have, because I haven't heard from them. Like, I didn't do any jobs with them and granted, I didn't let them know that I was available because there was an incident last time I was there. So I didn't let her know that I was available, so I hadn't heard from her in a while. So this, where I'm at right now, has been constant coins, and we love a constant coin, okay? So we're just gonna be grateful for what you have. Let me just get my stuff situated so that I can head in, because I have 4, no break today.
Alrighty, I'm all done. First client was a repeat client, full body, firm back, light lower body. Next client was my first time seeing this client, full body, firm massage. I'll leave her tip on the screen. Today has really been a good day. Third client wanted full body, but this was really a deep/firm massage. I did not charge her extra, and then here's the tip that she left. Last client wanted back only. She thoroughly enjoyed her massage. She was running about 5 minutes late, but I still gave her the best that I could give her, and like I said, she enjoyed her massage. I want to let you know there was one client on the lineup for this week that did not leave a tip, and girl, the client was actually a dentist. I want you to know that sometimes people don't leave tips, and I have found that, like, I had a pediatrician as well who left me like a $10 tip. I think that doctors feel like, okay, so when people come in for doctor's appointments, they don't tip me, so I'm not going to tip you, kind of thing. I don't find that this is the same work. I'm using my whole body. I mean, hands hurting, back hurting, everything, trying to make you feel good. Some people, you know, like I said, we're just going to be grateful for what we have. But I do want to let you know that that does happen. Not often. Oftentimes people leave good tips, but sometimes they don't. Just wanted to let you know. hope that you enjoyed today's video. I hope that it was encouraging to you and that you took something from it. As always, if you have a question, ask one, and I'll see you in the next video.